Only for 5 minutes, understand? Please try not to excite me. Yes, I'll be careful. I think this will be Ooishi. Clack. The door opened, and as I expected, Ooishi-san came in. But I also remember, like, when she came back and stabbed him, I was like, when that scene started up, I was like, I didn't think anything of it, and then I remembered it. I was like, oh shit, I remember this. Hello, my bar-san. It's been a while, hasn't it? It's been, what, nearly 2 hours of recording? Jesus Christ. Tell me, how have you been since then? The doctor says my post-operative recovery seems to be going smoothly. I think it got worse when I saw your face. You owned me. As Ooishi-san gave a laugh that smelled of sweat, he handed Mion a bag of assorted candies he must have... I mean, Mum, not Mion. I purchased from the souvenir corner on the first floor of the hospital. Okay, then the person who was talking to him must have been Keiichi's mother. Excuse me, Miss Maibara. Would it be possible for me to talk to Keiichi-kun for just a few moments? Mum clearly wasn't pleased at the thought of a police officer talking to her son about her here, there. However, I insisted. Sorry, just a little while. Just 5 minutes, okay? So grudgingly, Mum left the room. When she closed the door, Ooishi-san grinned widely and looked around the room. A room to yourself, how high class. My old lady always gets a shared room, you know. It is quite lively, however. Seems like you're a higher rank if you have a worse disease in a place like that. It's like you are, the prouder you are, maybe the more arrogant. Ooishi-san, we only have 5 minutes. I'd like it if you were if these were the last 5 minutes we ever saw each other. I don't have any connection to Hinabizawa anymore. This isn't in Hinabizawa anymore either. Although it's probably the same background as the clinic in Hinabizawa. Yes, because there aren't any general hospitals in Okinawa. Mind if I take a seat? Down we go. This was a large university hospital in Shishibane City. It was splendidly urban, entirely different from the likes of Hinabizawa and Okinawa. It was hard to believe Hinabizawa was part of the same city. When does it look like you'll get transferred? Dunno. I'm ready to go whenever, though. Our moving plans were delayed a little because of my serious injury. My parents had already left the house in Hinabizawa, though, and were living in our new one. They planned to have me transfer hospitals to be close to their new house once I'd recovered enough to be taken there. Please don't come to where I'm transferring. I really will get worse then. And you really do hate me. It may just be my job, but that stings. That's why I brought you all kinds of lovely souvenirs in atonement. You didn't need to bring an assortment of cookies for that. Well, you see, there aren't actually cookies in there. Look. Ooishi-san pulls open the can of cookies and... Ow, it's stretching my scar. I didn't know what you were into, my bar-san, so I bought all sorts of things. See, all sorts of things of cute-looking ones from Western-style comic strips. They have this sort of hate market aimed at girls, too. What? Don't bring porn in here! Take them away and go home! I thought for sure a healthy young person like you would be feeling a little needy being cooped up in a place like this for so long. If you stay here too long, the only fetish you'll end up with is a nurse one, you know. There are plenty of other beautiful things in this world besides nurses, after all. Don't decide what to major in now. Keep your options open. You need to be a more all-round type of person. This is a weird comic relief, but I think it's needed after that fucking crazy ending. I gave Ooishi-san's vulgar laughter a pained grin. Somehow or other I understood. The fact that Ooishi-san was bringing it up like this meant that he must have had something important to talk about. And now back to seriousness. The incident with Mion-san really was unfortunate. The night I was stabbed by Mion, Mion fell from a balcony and died. They said the police were investigating all possibilities, accident, suicide, homicide, but it could only have been Mion's doing. Well, think back to it. When she, stabbed him, she said, I made it, yes! Indicating she probably indicated by that. It's like, she Shion, and then she came for Keiichi. She was finishing what she started, essentially. That was probably it. Oh, how the fuck she got from there to there, that's probably why, she was absolutely fucking out of her mind. Mion found out where Shion was hiding and pushed her down to her death. Nothing else was conceivable. Okay, it couldn't have been an accident. It was Mion. It had to be. The criminology guys are saying it had to be a suicide, but I'm of the same opinion as you, my bar-son. She put Shion-san and also stabbed you. Not in one night. Has Mion still not been found? Oh, that's right. That's what I came here to tell you today. Yes, we actually did find her. Oh, what? Learning that felt rather strange to me. I was partly relieved that the incident was truly over, and I was partly sorry that my best friend had finally been caught. I felt many other things too. My heart was a maze of emotions. That's not all. In the Sonozaki House catacombs, we found a hidden well. Just as you said, my bar-son, we found the remains of all those who disappeared at the bottom. I see. I still very hoped that possibility I'd believed in, that Rika-chan and Satoko were alive, just from the fact their remains hadn't been found. Gone. It was incredibly well hidden in those catacombs. I mean, it was in the blind spot of another blind spot. It was a vertical tunnel, dug out like a well. There was a ladder set up there, and when we went all the way down, there was another tunnel built there going through it. When we followed it a few hundred meters, we found ourselves at the mouth of an old, unused well in the mountains. I wonder if it was a secret escape route previous Sonozaki family later built. Probably was. Maybe it was made in the Meiji era. Still, I'm impressed to build something like that. So everyone's remains were at the bottom. Yes, even deeper down there in the escape path, there was a pool of coal tar. They'd been casually thrown into there. They had fallen from a fairly high spot, so their remains were totally buried in it. It took a lot of time and effort to pull their bodies up. Did you find them all? I hoped that they at least wouldn't find Rika-chan or Satoko. That's what I wished for when I asked, but my shallow hope was crushed in the blink of an eye. Yes, all of them. In fact, we also found human bones we think are over a decade old. We think there are at least 3 people. I suppose it's the dark side of Inmizawa's history. I wonder how many people's bones we'll find there when we've sucked out all the mud. It's a scary thought. That weight had been pushing down on Mion's shoulders the whole time. Mion. We're currently identified as people who disappeared from Shishibone City decades ago. People are talking about how this opportunity might let us resolve the disappearing persons cases that have been abandoned. After a deep silence, he breathed a heavy sigh. Ooishi-san went for a cigarette to pass time, but realized this was a non-smoking area, so he gave up and put them back in his shirt pocket. Oh, right. It's a bit of a detour. But you know Rika Furude-san, right? Of course. She's my friend. Did she ever tell you anything along the lines of her regularly taking insulin injections for diabetes? Rika-chan has diabetes? I didn't know what he was talking about. Actually, we found it in her skirt pocket. A syringe. It was destroyed, though, so we couldn't identify the medicine. It was a bit out of place, so I got interested. You really don't know anything. If there's any, thing that I can look forward to is the, the after-party thing where they just talk about it and just, give their own theories, where they're all partially in character. And, the next question arc after this, which will be nice, and then it'll all go to shit, understandably, because that's what always happens. It's just it starts up all cheerful and then just takes a dark turn. I didn't know anything about Rika-chan carrying syringes around with her. Sonozaki family corporates, the Yakuza people. Anyway, there's rumors that they deal in psychostimulants. I was thinking that might have something to do with it too. Are you trying to tell me Rika-chan's a drug addict? No, not at all. This isn't what I'm saying. Just seems strange, however you look at it, that she would bring a stranger with her on her way to get soy sauce. I have no idea what any of this means. My eyes are spinning. It's like stuff like this where you're just like, what? And doesn't get explained. But it does, in the answer arc. We'll hear all about that and relive this wonderful tale again. But it'll be different. Well, it'll be the same, but it'll be different. I don't really want to say much more than that, really. My eyes are spinning, I feel sick. Are you alright? Should I call a nurse? I'm fine. Please continue. Well, that's all I had to say about the syringe. It was the only thing that personally struck me as interesting. Rika-chan. Rika-chan was sort of like the village mascot after all. It looks like the village is in an uproar right now. Between the older blind believers and the Sonozaki family who killed her. The Free family's effective control over the village is basically in shambles too. If someone came up to them with talk of a dam again with this sort of timing, the entire village would be abandoned for sure this time. I'm not related to Himizawa anymore. I actually was. I just said it because the thought about Himizawa being abandoned was unpleasant, and I wanted to end the conversation quickly. There was a knock at the door. It opened slightly, and my mom asked if we were still talking. Whoops, we went off topic, didn't we? What a pickle. I looked at the clock. 5 minutes were long past. He told my mom that there was something he really wanted to ask, and if she could wait a little bit longer. Is that so? Keep it short, okay? There wasn't any getting around the fact that she was thinking about what a police officer could be talking to her son about. Maybe we should choose another day for this. Ooishi-san, Mion, how is she right now? I want to just hear that answer and then get rid of him. Before I tell you that, I just need one thing from you. I just need you to answer something in all honesty. What is it? I want you to take your answer seriously, got it? If you say something indiscreet, it could be viewed as an obstruction of the investigation and you could be prosecuted. Ooishi-san kept threatening me until the end. What the hell did he want? My bar-san, who do you think the criminal was who pushed Shion from the balcony? There's no way it could be anyone but Mion, is there? Then who was the one who stabbed you? Please don't make me say it again. It was Mion Sonozaki. Ooishi-san smiled bitterly, then dabbed at his forehead with a handkerchief to wipe his sweat. He should have expected the answer, and yet it looked as though he wasn't satisfied with it. She put Shion and stabbed me. Didn't you just admit yourself that Mion was a criminal? The evidence we have that Mion killed Shion is based on testimony from the man living next door. This neighbor is actually a member of an organized crime group. In other words, he was Shion-san's bodyguard. Seems he's a veteran leader in that vein, and was like a parent to the Sonozaki sisters growing up. That man said this. The noise he heard from next door was just like the sound of a fight between the sisters that he was used to hearing when they still lived together. And no, there was no doubt about it. He said he heard Mion and Shion insulting each other and heard them struggling. First, though, he thought it was a hallucination she was having brought on by her dementia. You see, he thought that because that sort of ruckus had been occurring every night. However, that night had been longer than the rest, and he claimed that he went to her room to give her a sedative. The noise died down while he got the manager to give him the key. He'd already decided he'd at least check up on her, and after she wasn't answering his calls, they took the plunge and unlocked the door. Then they saw that the room was a mess. Since Shion had been pushed over the balcony, they decided it had to have been Mion, and that's how it happened. In other words, he only heard from the other side of the wall. Plus, because the apartment complex is connected to the organization, it doesn't have many residents, so they were the only ones who heard it happening. To reiterate, there was only one person who witnessed Mion Sonozaki. Even if he didn't see her, isn't it obviously Mion's doing? Now settle down. This is what I'm saying. It means you are the only one who saw me on Sonozaki for sure last night. After all, Shion-san, the other witness, is no longer alive. What are you trying to say? I don't really understand. At that point, Ooishi-san paused. The fact that this was a no-smoking era completely slipped his mind, and he took out his pack of cigarettes again. He lit one with his lighter, and exhaled a long stream of tobacco smoke. Were you really stabbed by me on Sonozaki? Yes, there's no doubt about it. The smoke Ooishi-san breathed out floated away like a thundercloud swept away by the wind. Ooishi-san, you can't smoke in here. The nurses will get mad. Actually, we found me on Sonozaki at the bottom of the well too. Oh shit! What? She fell to her death. We believe that she was trying to escape to the hidden passage in the well. Her foot slipped while climbing down the ladder. She fell to the bottom, broke her neck and died. Yes, the same way as Shion-san. She broke her neck. Well, what? After you passed out that day, Mion Sonozaki tried to escape using the hidden well, but her foot slipped and she died. As if beckoned by the corpses of the other sacrifices, she dropped down there. But that doesn't make any sense, does it? The autopsy came to the conclusion that she definitely died on that day. She didn't go back there after attacking you and Shion-san. She was already dead by then. My jaw was on the floor. There was absolutely no way that could be. Wait, if this is connected to the well, you did say it was connected to the well, right? He was hiding that information like the sly bastard he is. It's like, oh no, only the syringe bit interests me. Then he's like, no, actually, the real interesting twist here is that Mion was also there. Like, what the fuck? Mion was the one that stabbed me. It had to have been her. There wouldn't have been anyone else to do it. Then, who attacked Shion and me? Who was it? The one who attacked you was someone who was Mion Sonozaki, and yet not Mion Sonozaki. My mind had become a complete mess, and I was starting to lose my ability to think straight. Do you remember how Mio Takano-san died? Takano-san? Yeah. I think I heard that she was burned to death in some distant mountains. We learned that she was burned after being strangled to death. The Gifu station did the autopsy. It's a little bit strange. The results of the preliminary autopsy said that she had been dead for at least 24 hours. Since that was contradictory, in their panic they seemed to have revised it to say she died early that day. Despite me being an absolute wreck over what was going on with Mion, he was telling me there was even more on top of that. I didn't understand the complex things Ooishi-san was telling me. Raw results saying she had been dead for 24 hours, so our old criminologist says. It's pretty damn reliable. So then what would that mean? I've asked that question over and over, but on the night of Watanagashi, you were with Mio Takano-san, weren't you? I was. You also met her on the day before, while setting up for the festival, right? I mean, I ran into her too. Yes, I was there with her then. If she'd been dead for 24 hours, then that would mean she was already dead the day before the festival. That can't be. She was alive during the festival preparations. However, when you all slipped into the ritual storehouse, Takano-san was already dead. The origin of all that happened. The beginning of everything. Our intrusion in the ritual storehouse, which I had come to regret countless times. The one who tempted me, Takano-san. When she invited us into the storehouse, she was already no longer of this world. There are too many dead people walking around in this incident. An incident caused by a dead person and ended by a dead person. Also, apparently they're under pressure to revise the time of Mion Sonozaki's death, not to the day of the incident, but the right after she stabbed you. Probably pressure from the outside to get this incident wrapped up already. So I'd appreciate it if you didn't say a word about this to anyone. She then grabbed his jacket that was hanging on a chair, put out his cigarette with the bottom of his foot, and started pretending to wave away the smoke floating around. I've stayed too long. I'd come here thinking I could at least end this incident as it applied to you, but looks like it got even more baffling instead. Absent-mindedly, he walked towards the door, looking at me, unable to speak out of the corner of his eye. It so happens that something comes up you want to talk about in the future. Call me anytime. My business card is in those souvenirs from before. When that time comes, I'll pay you a visit with some wonderful souvenirs again. Ooishi-san seemed to think I was still hiding something. That I, after all this, could be hiding something. I'm the one things are being hidden from. I'm the one who wants to know. Then let us meet again one day. Take care of yourself. Slam. I listened to the tap-tap-tap of Ooishi-san walking down the hallway. I still couldn't return from my state of bewilderment. He wanted to end this incident as it applied to me. What was over? Nothing was over. The incident was still continuing. The plot boggles the mind. Then slip an arm covered in fresh blood came out from underneath the bed. What? I wasn't that surprised. This was an illusion I was seeing, seized with fear. Kei-chan, I told you, remember? I heard a guttural voice coming from under the bed. I still recognized it as Mion's voice. What, Mion? What did you tell me? I warned you on that day. After today, if you see me, it will be the demon that was possessed my body. You did, you said that, didn't you? Sorry. Guess I wasn't careful enough. That's why I got stabbed. Good job, Ooishi. It's just like you saved their asses, and now you've broken Keiichi's mind. Possibly wounds sustained when she fell from the ladder. I mean, his mind was already kind of broken from the instant, but he looked like he was at least, kind of slowly recovering. Many of her fingernails were broken and torn. Her arms slowly felt about on top of the bed, searching for mine. Oh, hey, Mion. I just, thought of a good joke. Want to hear it? The Mion under the bed didn't answer. Let's say that I died here today, but tomorrow I'd still be here, living a normal life. So when Ooishi-san learned about it afterwards, time of death wouldn't make sense once again. He'd make a huge deal about how someone who should have been have died was alive, and he'd totally lose his head. Darna-san, then Mion, and then me third. So, funny, right? Makes you laugh, doesn't it? Kei-chan, laugh. Or is it not that funny? Mion's blood-stained hand gripped around and found my wrist. Her fingernails were torn, she gripped it hard as if scratching me. Go easy. It hurts. Kei-chan, I've come for you. I tried to shake my wrist loose, but the strength she held it was unbelievable, and I couldn't. She was only gripping one wrist, and yet my whole body wouldn't move. I couldn't even twitch. My fingers were spread apart, and I couldn't make a fist either. And that fact that I couldn't make a fist reminded me of the restraining table. I felt a crooked nail press against my left pinky fingertip. Mion's forehead was split open, and with her face covered with blood, she smiled and got right up in front of my nose. Nothing was over. Nothing was over. This instant was far from being over. It was still going on. This is only the second question arc, for crying out loud. It was still happening. Someone please end this incident. This cruel, tragic, unfortunate, sad instant. Please end it. That is my only wish. couldn't do one before, remember? You don't get any more. Mion firmly held a nail down on my fingertip, and with the other hand slowly slung a mallet up into the air and... Higurashi when they cry! Bloody hell, man. Whew. Finally! It's complete! Now we don't have to deal with that shit anymore until we deal with the crazy shit in the third question. Oh, fuck. But at least you'll have, like... Oh, I didn't even get to read all that. Achievement unlocked, the last nail. Must have been hallucinated in that last one. I mean, they even said it, didn't they? Just like, all will be answered for that one in the answer arc. Like I said, like, the other question arcs have their own answer arcs, but they answer the question arc in a different way. The answer arc to this one is the only one that literally takes it all, like, keeps things the same, but actually explains everything that happens. Like, for example, Onikakushi's answer arc doesn't follow the same story with, like, Keiichi and all that. It just has similarities, and does kind of bring up the events of Watanagashi at one point, but I won't spoil it. Anyways, 2 hours and all that, I might as well get the last of it recorded. Let's do the, you know what, I'm just going to stop recording there, actually, and I will then hit record again for that, just in case shit went out of sync, because that's 2 hours recording. So, I will be right back, or maybe even see you next time, if it ends up like, because they'll be split at that point. For that, who knows, it depends on the length. Anyways, I will be right back.